The world believes connection is built with words, and so 99% of men talk. They explain, they promise, they argue their own goodness. Yet a profound silence remains, an invisible distance. You can be standing next to someone and feel 1,000 miles away. What is this empty space between two people? My tradition teaches that it is not empty at all. It is filled with unheard energy. Most men try to fill this space with more noise. But the wise man learns to listen to the silence. He learns to speak a language older than words. Today, I invite you not to learn new words, but to remember this ancient language. To understand not 7 secrets, but 7 pathways of being. These are not techniques to acquire a result. They are practices to cultivate a presence that requires no explanation. Imagine, what if you could become a source of stillness in a restless world? What if you could create connection not by pursuit, but by depth? Not by what you do, but by who you are. This is not a contest against other men. It is an invitation to master yourself. Without this understanding, you are a ship without an anchor, tossed by the waves of her approval and your own desires. To find this anchor is why we are here. The final pathway we will explore is the anchor itself. Once you feel its weight, the way you see connection will be changed forever. Before we begin this journey inward, if you are ready to walk this path of cultivation, let us quiet the mind and prepare the vessel. Let us begin. First, the pathway of stillness in touch. Imagine you are with her. The words flow like a river on the surface, but beneath, the water is cold. The connection feels intellectual, not total. The mind is engaged, but the heart remains guarded. She leaves, and you are left with an echo. What was missing? Most men believe attraction is a negotiation of the mind. But true connection is a transmission of spirit, and one of the most profound ways to transmit spirit is through stillness. I speak of the offering of a gentle touch before the storm of intimacy arrives. This is not about the skill of a message. It is about the quality of your presence. In my tradition, we learn that the hands can be a source of great healing or great disturbance. For a woman, emotional safety is the ground upon which all connection is built. A calm, intentional, non-demanding touch is a silent vow. It says, "In this moment, I seek nothing. I am simply here. Be at peace." It is about making her feel seen, not just by your eyes, but by your energy. The key is intention. If you are merely performing an action, your touch is hollow. But if you are fully present, breathing with the moment, your touch becomes a gift. An old wisdom says, "Do not waste time discussing what a good man is. Be one." Do not theorize about presence. Embody it. Let your actions be your meditation. Most men live on the surface. Their touch is hasty, their presence is divided. This is why their connections remain shallow. But the man who understands the stillness in touch, he creates a harbor of safety she will never forget. In a world of noise, a man who can offer silence becomes a sanctuary. He is the 1% who understands that intimacy begins long before the bodies meet. Second, the dance of the unattached heart. Flirting is a misunderstood art. Most men turn it into a performance. They become clowns trying to earn a laugh, or they become predators, aggressive and desperate. Both are rooted in fear, the fear of not being enough. True playfulness, however, arises from emptiness. A woman feels this instantly. A man who can engage in the dance without needing to win is a man who is free. He creates an energy of excitement, with no weight of expectation. Flirting is not about a perfect line. It is about a spirit of play. Think of it as 2 streams weaving down a mountainside. They touch, they part, they race, they slow. But neither stream tries to consume the other. They are simply enjoying the flow. You might offer a gentle challenge, a light-hearted jest, but it comes from a place of joy, not a need for a reaction. Good flirting is not a hunt for approval. The moment you need her to like you, the dance becomes a chain. A man who is at home in his own being does not need validation. This is the teaching. He engages in the dance because he enjoys the movement, not because he is desperate to reach the destination. He is grounded. His energy is calm. Beyond the words are your eyes, your breath, your stillness, a steady gaze, then a slow smile. a moment of silence that is comfortable, not awkward. Connection is not built with words. It is woven with energy. Are you dancing to possess, or are you dancing to enjoy the music? Master this, and you will see how gravity shifts in your favor. Third, the gesture of subtle seeing. Many men see the surface, the form, the beautiful face. They overlook the currents of energy that animate the form. But a woman feels these currents, and she loves when a man can feel them too. There is a gesture, small and profound, that communicates this depth of seeing, the gentle touch of her hair. Done with presence, it can create a field of immediate resonance. Done with clumsiness, it can shatter the vessel. To understand why it works, you must understand subtlety. The head, the crown, is a place of powerful energy. When you touch her hair, you are not just touching hair. You are acknowledging her essence. It is not the touch itself, but the unspoken language behind it. I see you. I feel your energy. I am present with you now. The error men make is haste. They do it as a mechanical action, an item on a checklist. It is not something to be played with absent-mindedly. It is a moment of sacred connection. Imagine, you are sharing a space of quiet conversation. In a moment of natural closeness, you softly move a strand of hair from her face. That one gesture, performed with focus and stillness, speaks a truth that 1,000 compliments cannot. Timing is the soil in which this seed grows. It is not for the first meeting. It is for when the ground of comfort has been prepared, when there is warmth, when her body invites you closer without words. To force this gesture is to create a dissonance. Our training teaches us to read the energy of a space before we act, not from impulse, but from awareness. So, the next time the moment feels right, do not underestimate the power of this simple gesture. Done with stillness and clean intention, it is one of those quiet acts that echoes in the heart. Fourth, the hand as a steady rudder. This gesture is so small, yet it reveals everything about a man's inner world. The placement of a hand on the small of her back as you guide her. Most men hesitate, lost in thought. Or they do nothing. What they fail to understand is that women feel leadership not in commands, but in quiet confidence. They long for a signal that a man is grounded, that he is the captain of his own ship. When you place your hand on her back, calmly and without force, you are not saying, "You are mine." You are saying, "The way is clear." You are showing through action that you are aware, present, and leading with a quiet strength. The error is to confuse this with control. The hand is not a cage. It is a gentle rudder, light but certain, brief but meaningful. Just enough for her to feel your guiding presence, like a current of water against a boat. Picture it. You approach a doorway. As you move ahead to open it for her, your hand rests on her back for a mere moment, guiding her through. It is an instant of quiet leadership. It reassures her nervous system that she is with a man who navigates the world with purpose. Our path teaches self-mastery. The true master does not seek permission for his presence. He simply embodies a steady energy. When you guide her, you are not asking for a reaction. You are simply being a man of clarity and direction. That alone is a powerful force. In a world where many men are either timid or aggressive, mastering this simple act sets you apart. It shows you understand the silent dance of strength and grace. Fifth, the way of the mountain. Let us quiet the mind and speak of a deep human truth. The pull within a man to be a pillar of strength. Not because she is weak, but because it is in your nature to be a shelter. To shield, not to smother. And she craves this. Not a god, not a king, but a man whose presence is a silent promise. You are safe here. You do not earn this with force. You earn it with stillness. Most men believe being a hero means solving her problems. They rush in with advice. They try to fix her feelings as if she were a broken object. This is not what she seeks. She seeks a man who can hold her chaos without becoming chaos himself. A man who does not run from her emotions. A man who does not try to silence her storm. She needs to know that you can witness her undoing without losing your own center. When a woman is overcome, she is not looking for a fixer. She is looking for a mountain. Someone unmoved by the wind and rain. Someone who stays grounded, steady, That is what makes you her sanctuary. It is not loud. It is not grand. It is a quiet, unshakable presence. The more she feels this from you, the more she can relax into her own flow, because she knows your center holds. She can finally let go, knowing you are holding the space. This means listening with your whole being, not just your ears. It means letting her feel without needing to fix. It means when she tests your stillness, you show her it is not a performance, it is your truth. Here is the key: you become the mountain before the storm. You do not just react, you set the atmosphere with your own peace. You walk with purpose. You speak with calm. You do not need to say, "I am here for you," because your entire being already is. But this is not an invitation to be her punching bag. A true protector first protects his own inner peace. A man who cannot calm his own inner sea can never be a harbor for hers. Our teachings say, true wisdom is not found by chance. You choose this path. You cultivate this inner mountain, not to impress her, but because it is who you must become to lead. And when you stand fully in that energy, she sees you. She softens. She trusts. Not because you saved her from the world, but because you showed her she never had to save you from yourself. That is the mountain. The guardian not of her body, but of her peace in your presence. Sixth, the outer reflection of the inner self. Let us now look at what seems physical, but touches a deeper truth: the form you present to the world, such as a beard. To some, it is merely hair. To others, an aesthetic choice. But to her, if carried with right intention, it can be a signal of a deeper masculine current. While some may prefer one form or another, a beard has long been a symbol, not of aggression but of maturity, of substance. A well-tended beard speaks without words. It says, "This man is no longer a boy. He is not seeking approval. He simply is." That energy of being is the energy of a man who is centered. It changes how you are perceived. And in the flow of energies, perception is a powerful current. A beard in its essence can reflect a man's journey. It can suggest a certain rootedness. Not a loud dominance, but a quiet one. The kind of man who can sit in a room and his stillness commands more attention than any loud voice. When a woman senses this in a man, it touches an ancient part of her. She sees not just a look, but a feeling. The feeling of safety, combined with the feeling of the wild. A man who knows himself, who is not swayed by every passing wind. But let us be clear, this is not about the hair itself. A beard is a mirror of your inner state. A tended garden reflects a disciplined gardener. An untended garden reflects a scattered mind. A clean, intentional form says, "I am aware of myself. I care for my vessel." This is where most men miss the point. When her hand meets your face, there is a contrast, your ruggedness and her softness, her smooth skin, your edge. This sensory dialogue creates polarity, and polarity is the engine of chemistry. The difference, the masculine and the feminine, stillness and flow, strength and surrender. A beard, when worn by a man who is centered, amplifies this polarity. It helps her feel more of her own feminine nature in your presence. But if your inner world is weak, if your center does not hold, no outer form will save you. An ancient teaching reminds us, first, know who you are, then, adorn yourself accordingly. The beard does not make you strong. It can, however, reflect the strength you have cultivated within. Do not follow trends. Lead with your being. Let all outer forms be an honest expression of your inner path. The man who knows himself does not hide behind a look. He wears it as a quiet signal, a reminder that he has nothing to prove. He already is. Seventh, the shared river of laughter. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly shared a moment of lightness with a woman? Not polite smiles. I mean that unguarded, sudden burst of joy. The kind that makes her heart open without a key. Most men do not understand this. Laughter is not a distraction. It is a form of deep intimacy. It is a dissolving of boundaries. It quiets the analytical mind and speaks directly to her spirit. When a woman laughs freely with you, her whole being relaxes. Trust is born in that space. Suddenly, you are not just a man she is with. You are a man who feels like coming home. Most men never find this river. They are too busy trying to be impressive, strong, unflinching. and that stillness has its power. But if it is the only note you can play, she will admire your form, but forget your song. Laughter is what makes you live in her memory. It is the space between the formal structures of interaction. It is the breath that says, life does not always have to be so heavy. This is not about becoming an entertainer. It is about your own capacity for release, for playful teasing, for seeing the small absurdities of the moment. That is the kind of chemistry that needs no touch to be felt. Imagine, the air is quiet. You notice a small detail. You share a dry, well-timed observation. A smile forms on her lips. She tries to hold it, and then it breaks free. In that shared moment, something powerful was built. Not with force, but with ease. It was yours. Real. She will replay that feeling later. Not your words, but how light she felt in your presence. And for a soul that often feels the weight of the world, that lightness is a profound gift. Men mistakenly believe laughter is a sign of weakness. The truth is the opposite. The man who can be light without losing his depth is a rare and powerful being. He shows he is not threatened by the moment. He can create joy even from stillness. This is the ultimate control of one's own energy. The master redirects tension into ease, and laughter is the sound of that release. It is how you guide her energy back to a place of peace. How you show her that strength can also smile. If you have been carrying only the energy of the stoic, the serious, the immovable, it is time to remember the stream. Not to impress, but to reconnect. The man who can laugh with her, not for her, but truly with her, builds something that will outlast physical attraction. He builds a home in her heart. Eighth, the pull of the North Star. Let us now move beyond the interaction, beyond the chemistry, beyond the moment. Let us speak of the one thing a woman feels but may never names: a man walking his own path. I do not mean a job. I do not mean a 5-year plan. I mean a vision, a direction, a man who is not just living, but is being pulled forward by a great purpose. The deepest truth that men overlook is this: nothing anchors a woman's heart more profoundly than a man who is loyal to something larger than himself. It is not about your success. It is about your energy. It says you are alive. It says you are a flowing river, not a stagnant pond. It says you wake with a fire in your heart, and that fire warms everyone around you. The man who can look her in the eyes and say, with quiet integrity, I cannot stay long. I have work to do. He does not say this to push her away. He says this because he refuses to lose his own center in her presence. That is the deepest source of attraction. You do not win her by making her your entire world. You win her respect, her trust, her desire, by walking your own path and allowing her to witness the focus in your spirit as you walk it. Why does this work on such a deep level? Because when a woman feels your direction, she knows you are not lost. And a soul cannot feel truly safe with a captain who has no map, no star to guide him. She can finally relax. Because she respects you. She respects your devotion to your